Now, I showed you a bit of Campbell Newman earlier. He's no longer a Liberal, of course. He ran last year for the Liberal Democrats. But yes, 15 years ago, before he was Queensland Premier, he was Lord Mayor of Brisbane, and at that time, the most senior Liberal figure in government in the nation. I asked him if that felt pretty lonely.
Yeah, it was a bit, mate. And Adrian Schrinner's the only mainland coalition elected official at the moment. So he's in the same position I was back 16 years ago.
It must have also seemed a very long way back for the Liberal Party, for the coalition at that time. But of course, they did recover.
Well, they did recover, and they recovered because of the, I suppose, extraordinary efforts of Tony Abbott as a leader of the opposition who prosecuted, the job with conviction and with relentless tenacity, and that is what it takes to actually win from opposition. I know because I've done that for the Lord Mayoralty of Brisbane and also as a candidate to be Premier.
Yeah, well, so after you were Lord Mayor, of course, you...
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, you went into state politics, you won your way into government from opposition, but you only lasted one term before losing government. What did you do wrong then, and what have Liberal governments and parties across the country done wrong since?
Well, what I did wrong, Chris, was having too many wars or too many battles on too many fronts at once. But it was a near-run thing at the end. We lost with a primary vote of 41.3. And I guess the point of my position this afternoon or this evening is that the coalition now have a primary vote in the mid-30s. And we're seeing that also in state elections as well. And you simply cannot win government if you can't get the primary north of 40. And that's the focus that they should be working on. That is the key issue. How do you restore that primary vote? And it goes, Chris, in my opinion, to dealing with the fracturing of the right of centre vote in this country to people like Pauline Hanson's One Nation, the United Australia Party, Clive Palmer, and also even the Liberal Democrats.
Well, the issue there is that they're all run by former Liberals. You know, Clive Palmer, of course, former LMP, Pauline Hanson booted out of the Liberal Party. I'd add to that John Ruddock, who looks like going into the upper house in New South Wales for the Liberal Democrats, a former Liberal. Yourself, a former Liberal. Corey Bernardi, who left the Liberals and started his own Conservative outfit. How do you get, what does the Liberal Party need to do that it brings those people and their supporters back into the fold?
Well, just before I answer that, to do a bit more of a deep dive. So in May last year at the election, when I went around polling booths in southeast Queensland, everywhere I went, the people on the booths working for UAP, for One Nation, the Lib Dems, even some of the independents, they were all former Liberal or Liberal National Party members. And indeed, they were quite happy to see me, by the way. And it was very clear what's happened there. It's this splintering, this fragmentation. Why has it happened? Because the Liberal Party and the Liberal National Party have not been true to their values. I mean, I've got a printout here from the website for the Liberal Party, and you just start reading some of the beliefs that they're meant to be, demonstrating at all times, and they work towards a lean government that minimises interference in our daily lives, maximises individual and private sector initiative. When was the last time that a coalition, so I'll throw the Nats in this as well, a coalition leader constantly talked about getting behind private enterprise, small business, small government, incentivising people to get ahead, to keep taxes and red tape to the absolute minimum? And a lot's been said since the weekend about, say, the role of ethnic communities like the Chinese community. And I'll say that the Chinese immigrants to this country, and indeed the Indian diaspora, the people who've come here, they are family focused and they are business focused. And really the message to them is that actually the coalition's values are your values, not the Labor Party left, who are now in charge nationally, essentially. There is a huge opportunity with those ethnic communities for the Liberal Party and indeed the LNP to rebuild.